turn the penitentiary on its head, stand the community on its feet in the realest of ways. And right now, what we are in here to do is work with fathers so we can just restore the family structure. At the end of the day, I think that fathers don't, like a lot of fathers don't understand how important that we are, man, you know, and society don't understand how important that we are, how critical that we are to the development of our children. The way that we gonna be is based on the way that we was raised, right? The way that we are is based on the way that we was raised, man. And a lot of times we can find ourselves not being in places that we desire because we ain't had that right information, right? We was getting information from bogus places, and that's why we developed that philosophy to put us in a place that we don't want to be, right? What drew me here is I'm a father of 3 children. I got a 24-year-old son, I got a 13-year-old son, I got a 5-year-old daughter. Right? I got 3 different children's mothers. That's my story, right? And I got a strong relationship with all of my children. My 24-year-old, he was 3 months old when I got incarcerated at 19 years old for attempted murder, possession of drugs, drug trafficking, possession of firearms, right? I had to go and do 10 years inside a Marion Correctional Institution. When I say that fatherhood saved my life, fatherhood saved my life, because when I got inside a Marion Correctional Institution, I said, man, you know what? This stuff is corny. Not only is it corny, man, but if I don't do something to change the way that I'm going, then my son is going to enter into these same gates that I'm currently in. And what I realized being inside a Marion Correctional Institution, I literally felt like food on the table. They say if you ain't got a seat at the table, then more than likely you on the menu. And I ain't want to be no menu item, right? When I was in the streets, I started selling drugs when I was 13 years old. I had got hit at 19 years old. But when I got into the streets, my main objective, brothers, was to, man, obtain some type of power. But when I was incarcerated, I said, man, I ain't got the power that I'm looking for, right? This ain't it. You know, and I literally had to come to grips with that reality. And that's what drove me to really come against that philosophy that had put me there. Because I said that if I don't, then my son will adopt that same philosophy. And then 10 years from then, 20 years from then, he's going to end up coming right in the same situation that I'm currently in. How many people been incarcerated before and they seen they seen father and child in the same institution? Right. That stuff happens often, right? So then that's something that I did not want to happen. And the only way that we are going to prevent that from happening is if we put in the work to stop it from happening. If we don't plant the seed, brother, then we cannot expect no harvest. You can't go to the ground and say, ground, man, I'm hungry. Is it going to plant you? Is it going to grow you any crops? When is that ground going to produce crops, fellas? When you plant the seed. So then that's what it's about. So that's my main thing, is saying, man, you know, how do we plant the seed? Let's get to work. Let's start to go ahead and change the direction of our lives so we can end up in a different destination. Right? And not only will we end up in a different destination, but our children, who we are responsible in leading, then they will also end up in a different destination. It's just coming to the grips with saying, man, how important are our children? If we just like, man, hey, they okay, you know, they gonna be okay, or I really don't care, or, you know, like, then what we gonna do? What they gonna do? Right? Because I believe that children are a blessing from God, fellas. Right? I mean, they came here. We are assigned to them. Right? Because everybody can't have children. Everybody don't have children. So we have been assigned to our children. We have something to give our children. This is what's crazy. We have something to give to our children. And not only do we have something to give to our children to help with their development, that means that they're not going to be the people that they need to be if we don't give them what we need to give them, because they've been assigned to us. But not only do we have something to give to them, but they have something to give to us. That means that we will not live the life that we want to live if we don't be that father that we are supposed to be. The quality of our lives will be stripped if we don't be the father that we need to be with our children. If we don't don't get from our children what we are supposed to get. What are we supposed to get? And I tell people every day, man, like the person that you got to become to parent your children, like I literally had to like become a whole different individual to be able to say, man, I'm going to be there for my children. I've been home for 14 years, man. Because I said that, man, I'm not going back inside, period, point blank. If I go back inside, my son will go back inside. I've had 2 children since I've been home. My 5-year-old daughter and my 13-year-old son. I got a divorce when my son was in the 2nd grade. My son stays with me 5 days of the week. He goes with his mother on the weekends. Me and my daughter's mother, we alternate weeks. So I get my daughter week on, week off. I'm just right now fresh off of my week on, brothers. And do you know how it feels when I hit that Friday? I feel like an accomplishment. Because me working with my daughter at 5 years old, man, she tries every bit of me. Like, dead serious. So when I make it to the Friday, I'm like, man, I made it to the Friday. Like, I got to go back and forth with her to get her into the tub. She don't want to eat this. She don't want to eat that, right? She wants to play. Man, can you brush your teeth? Will you do this? Man, you ain't heard what I said. Oh, you ignoring me, right? I'm going back and forth with her. So the things that my daughter, she challenges me in all different types of areas. So the sacrifice that I make, brothers, to be able to be the father for her, man, that makes me become the individual that I need to be. And that's how I'm able to experience a different level of living, brother. This stuff is beautiful. Just to have the influence with my children, because I want more influence with my children than the people out there in the streets. I want more influence with my children than the businesses. What is the business's main objective? To make money. That means that they're trying to make a profit. That means that Young Jeezy or Ricky Rose, they gonna sit up there and say, man, go ahead and shoot up the block. Go ahead and sell all that dope. And then they ain't gonna sit up there and do the time when they go ahead and shoot up the block or when they sell all that dope. Matter of fact, they are telling their children, go ahead and go to private school. They sending their children to colleges, but they telling our children, go ahead and get into the trap house. Like, I don't want my children to be fooled, brothers. And if we don't fight, guess what's going to happen? If we don't fight for our children to be the best that they need to be, somebody is going to fight for them to be fooled.